to tell you a little bit about Escape from Tarkov. This has been the most brutal, mean game I have played in a long time. It's been unforgiving, it's difficult, and I can't seem to stop playing it. So, according to the developer, Escape from Tarkov is a hardcore, realistic, online first-person action RPG simulator with MMO features and a story-driven walkthrough. Whew, that's a lot in a game. We're going to cover about 5 different areas. We're going to talk about audio, visuals, gameplay, something good and something bad, and then I'll kind of give you my overall opinion. So, starting with audio. Audio in Tarkov is very important. In fact, everything in this game makes sound. And from different surfaces to the impacts of your boots to the gear you wear, having a good set of headphones is actually very important for this game. It really adds to the realism this game is trying to portray. It also teaches you how to interact with the environment in a real way. When you're crawling through grass, even though you're slow and stealthy, you're still crawling through grass or bumping up against a tree or, hitting something like barbed wire or accidentally crunching broken glass on the floor. Running is loud, so it makes you think twice about running because your boots are clopping down and hitting the pavement. So sound plays a huge important part of the game. In fact, you can even get gear in this game which helps amplify your sound so you can hear your surroundings better. Let's move on to visuals. Visually, Tarkov is excellent. The environments are well blended, the transition from night to day, the shadows really lends a sense of realism. When you're out in the dark of the woods at night, you're not going to have very good, vision. So there are things like night vision goggles. It's difficult to discern what you can and cannot interact with in Tarkov, just due to how well everything blends together. Now, when you see a bag sitting on top of a couch that might have something in it, you can go up and search it. But you're not sure if it's a searchable bag unless A, you've been there before and you know, or B, it doesn't, you go and check. So it really kind of forces the realism on you. Now, let's talk about gameplay a little bit. From an FPS standpoint, the game is excellent. However, there are some things that you'll notice right away that are pretty hardcore and realistic. There's no real HUD. There's a little bit of an indicator of stamina and health, but it's most of the time not on the screen. You can get into a situation where you don't know how much ammo you have left in your gun, so you either have to go into your inventory and check. You actually can reload your clips in the field, but you're going to load one bullet at a time. If you end up throwing a clip to the ground to reload real fast, if you had bullets left inside your clip, they're still there. This game really is all about the realism of being in a conflict, and it really takes that to the extreme. When you encounter other players or scavengers, NPC scavengers, it's not always about who has the better gun, but maybe who has better bullets or body armor. You'll actually, in the early part of the game, you only ever have what you're carrying on you. So you start with a handgun and maybe a semi-automatic weapon. And ideally, you're going to need to go in and scavenge weapons and items to help you out throughout the game. Now, if you're lucky enough to take out another player and take his gear, congratulations, that's one of the hardest parts. You can take out the NPCs, and there are some missions for you to follow that you get from the traders in the game. Really where the game comes together is through the visuals and the combination of the audio. When you're creeping around corners, hearing people talking like the scavengers, or hearing people walking, it really lends itself to that realism. Unlike typical looter shooters, it teaches you to slow down and be mindful of your environment. The game is still in beta, so some things are very apparent that there's a lot more content that can be added. The game, what is there though, however, is very brutal, realistic, and meshes well. You will die often, mostly because you're going to be outgeared, or you're going to be treating this as a typical FPS when it's actually more of a strategy game. Now, one of the things about the gameplay to note is that you do have to be cognizant of things such as food and water, because you are out in the field. You also have to kind of identify where you're exfiltrating from, and that can be a little bit more challenging because you don't have a map. Again, they really stress the realism. So there's going to be some familiarity you get with the game. There's a lot of great story to this game, but a lot of it's on the website and not in the game. But they're very clear in the game when you launch it that it actually says, hey, this is beta, there's a lot more content coming. Something good. This game reminds me of when I used to go and play paintball in the woods with friends and family. It has a really good sense of realism. It really gets you on the edge of your seat. You have nothing on your screen to get in the way. You're listening, you're hearing the wind blow, the sun is glaring or not, or it's raining, and it's just this really full immersive experience, which is excellent, scary, and stressful all at the same time. Now let's talk about something bad about Tarkov. The matchmaking leaves something a little bit lacking. It is possible to end up in a matchmaking environment where you're with much higher ranked characters or players that can afford the better gear. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. One, it's good if they end up against another player and they die in game. You can scavenge their bodies for their loot, and then you can take their stuff. However, running into them, your guns may not work very well because they either have better body armor and they have better bullets. So it's a little challenging in that respect, that you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons of your engagements. Now, another negative for Tarkov, which I think is the new player experience. When you first start playing, it's, here's a gun, good luck. There's no really tutorial or walkthrough that kind of tells you or gives you the ropes of Tarkov. You kind of have to figure it out on your own. So you're looking at your trader screen, you're looking at the missions, you're looking at your character stats. You may be going into your bunker to see what kind of things you can build that help you between missions. But there's no real guide or guidance for new players. And that makes the learning curve for Tarkov pretty high. One of the other things that may be good or bad is that there is no map for your infiltration and exfiltration points. In fact, if you want the map, you have to go to the website and download it. Now, I had to download it and kind of figure out where I came in so I know where to exit. A lot of the games last about 40 minutes. Some of the smaller maps are 25 minutes. But you're essentially trying to get in, do your missions, get your gear, kill some scavengers, and get out. But you need to kind of learn out where do you exfiltrate from. And that's a big part of the learning curve. I highly recommend playing this game with a friend. In fact, when I joined, I had a friend kind of give me the ropes and show me through it, and that actually made the experience much more enjoyable. Yes, we died often, but we, more times than not, got out with gear or scavenged for lower level items so we can go sell it and buy better stuff. Overall, the game is fun. It does have its challenges around new players or players who are looking for a more traditional FPS experience. But overall, it is, if you're looking for some realism and that good simulation, it really is going to give you that. It's not where you're going to run around and shoot a bunch of monsters. It really takes that realism to the next level. Everything on your gun is customizable, your guns are customizable, but then someone may also steal your gun the next day. So there's a very big risk reward and push your luck with this game. I very much enjoy this game, even though I lose more often than I don't than win, but I'm having fun doing it, and that's the important thing. I do have to play it in waves because it can be stressful at times, so I do need to walk away. But other than that, it is a lot of fun. Tell me your thoughts on Tarkov. I'd like to hear it. Go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you think. And this has been our review of Escape from Tarkov. Have a good one.